Alright guys and gals, it's North here. Time for a quick July garden update. Today's Monday, July the 19th, 2021, and we're running a temperature of about 84 degrees, which is pretty warm up here. It's pretty muggy, the air is pretty thick. We got a bit of a breeze, which is helping, but that's getting warm for up here. My southern brothers and sisters might say that's a nice, cool, fair day, but that's getting a little warm for us up here. But I just wanted to give you a little July walkthrough of what I've got going on in the garden here, show you the progress of how things are going, and yeah, just let you know what's up. So now it's a couple of weeks here now since this is spinach I've got planted in all of these hanging baskets. It's starting to come along nicely. I did have 2 baskets that produced nothing, and I replanted lettuce in those. They're around the other side of the house. They're doing just fine. But what we'll start with here is we'll start with my potato bins. I'm not sure if you can actually see the bin there or not. I got potatoes in 3 long bins here. 1, 2, 3. And I have 1 row in each of those 2 bins, so 3, 6. I have 2 rows in this bin, 9, 12. And that's a round pot over there. I'm not sure if you can make it the shape of it there or not. Round pot. I'd say there's 2 feet in there. So I got about 14 feet of potatoes going on in my the containers, and they're doing really well, as you can see. They're huge. They've grown up. They've been knocked over by the rain. They've fallen over. They're doing their thing. They're potatoes, so they're doing fine. And once they start to yellow and fall over, I'll harvest those then. But what I did to try and maximize on my potato growth is I planted a bed over here. I had no idea what I was going to do in this bed. You see this fence here points almost due north, so after about noon, we're shortly after noon here now, and you can see we're starting to get shade over in this bed. So I didn't know how they were going to do, but that particular bed of potatoes here is about 10 feet long, and I've got 2 rows in there, so I got another 20 feet of potatoes in there, and they seem to be doing really, really well. Now over here I've got another 4-foot bed of potatoes, into which I put 2 rows again, so another 8 feet, hopefully, of potatoes. And they're not doing as well. This particular bed here is a bit of a Hail Mary. It's planted about a week after these ones, and as you can see, it gets virtually no sunshine. It's just about completely shaded by this wisteria here. So if I get something out of it, great. If not, I'll plant something in there next year that's a little more favorable to shaded areas. Now I was in this potato patch here last week where I saw those 5 little fuzzy bunnies. They were all the same size, those little critters, and they weren't too scared. They ran away a little bit when I first came around, and then I stood still for a minute, and they all came back, and then they scurried over into the corner under the cover of all that bush and wisteria and whatnot over there. So hopefully they don't get my yellow beans this year, which I'll show you here in a minute. Here, all I've got here is a couple of cucumber plants. They're getting flowers on them, but they're not bearing fruit just yet. But hopefully soon. These were planted late, so you know we'll just see how we do with those. Again, kind of a Hail Mary. They were in pots, not doing so well, so I took them out of the pots and I put them in dirt, and hopefully we'll get some cucumbers out of them. Now in the front of this bed I've also got, if you can see right there, just a few green, well, onion sets, or little white onion bulbs. And if they don't happen to do anything, well, I'll have some green onions that I can use. So I guess I probably got maybe half or less of the onions I planted to grow. So you know, we'll cross our fingers and we'll see how that goes. And over here, just a couple of pots of herbs, chives. You see they're still producing nicely. This is a pot of silver thyme, which was almost completely dead. It only had 1 sprig, that big one on the back there, earlier this year, but it's really spreading nicely, so that's awesome. This pot was all but taken over last year by all those little weeds there. So and see those little weeds there, how similar they are in look to the thyme. So I got to go in and take all those out, and just make sure I stay on top of that. Now, as for the fortress of yellow beans, here we are here. This is the fortress, the yellow bean fortress with the lid on it. And what the lid is doing is the lid is protecting from the rainfall from the roof, because as you can see, the eaves trough has come off. So the water falls right down here, and it'll completely trench out my beans, and I don't want that to happen. So this here was just a lid to that crate that I've used as a raised bed, and you can see I've wired it up with bamboo sticks and sharp mesh to try and keep the bunny rabbits out. So because they harvested all except for 5 of my yellow beans, 5 last year, but as you can see, they're climbing nicely on that. They've already climbed on a lot of the poles beyond the height of the pole itself. So what they're gonna do after that, I'm not sure, but this seems to be working really, really well. So what I'll do is I'll get probably maybe a 2-week earlier head start on this next year. As you can see, I've been using this as a workbench, this roof, so I got to get some things off of here. These these were trimmings. I trimmed out a couple of my medicine plants, and I trimmed off some larger branches, and I just stuck them in the dirt and watered them, and they seem to be growing, so we'll see about that. Again, medicine plant in this corner, it's loving it. I need to get into this one and trim out some of those inner leaves. I did that already to her sister over on the far side, which I'll show you after I'm done taking you through this bed. Okay, got some more onions, as you can see, across the front of this bed, and they didn't really produce down that way. Here, cherry tomato plant, which I have trimmed out, and it's starting to want to grow all over the place. Another cherry tomato plant here beside it, which I again have trimmed out. You can see it's bearing flower. No fruit on the vine just yet. But back here, yes, I know this trellis is crooked. I need to fix that. But I'm working with what I've got, and yeah, I'll fix that. But what I did, I'm not sure if you can see right there, but I transplanted a plum tomato plant there and there from the bed that's directly behind me. I had to thin out lots and lots of tomato plants. Now, including the 2 that I've got here, those are volunteers from last year. 2 there. There's a volunteer over there. So it's 3. There's 4 on another patch on the other fence. 7 and another 2 on another patch. That's 9. I gave 6 away, so that's 15, and I destroyed 18. They were all volunteers, and I didn't want them. Like, we've got volunteer tomato plants growing on the outside of the bed, as you can see. So these ones, I'm just leaving them there. They're not in the way of anything. So, but yeah, potatoes here. This one little potato plant growing in the same bucket, you know, one's this size and the other one's that size. Why? I have no idea. That's just nature, I guess, doing its thing. Over here, as you can see, we have zucchini. I'll just move some leaves and show you what we got going on, because we have, right there, we have a monster. I'll grate that and freeze it, along with that one there. Now, those weren't monsters two days ago. So any of you who don't know how zucchinis grow, they grow very, very quickly. That little guy down there, he should be ready to harvest and eat in about 2 days. Same with that little guy down there, if you can see that. So yeah, these are doing very, very well over here. 2 zucchini in a pot around the corner, not doing so well. So cherry tomatoes not producing yet. These here, they're getting buried by zucchini. These are a couple of better boy plants that I need to get into these, trim these out and stand them up as well. However, right there, you can see we're getting some fruit on these better boy plants. So that's awesome. I mean, I did plant some, I'm not sure if you can see that green onion there, but everything's taken over it. I got a few green onions in here. Everything's taken over. And these Jerusalem artichoke are absolutely going insane. They are going nuts. Now, somebody told me that these would take over your whole bed. Now, I understand why. I've never grown these before, but they're like a tuber. I guess you can eat them. They're sort of like between a potato and a sweet potato. This one seems to have a little inhabitant. Not sure what kind of doodad that is, but there he is. Let me just take you over on the other side. Finish showing you that bed over there. And yeah, okay, another Jerusalem artichoke over on this side of that little bed. And that right there is a beefsteak tomato, which has produced one fruit already that's been harvested. Not sure if you can see that, but there's more fruit on it. So, oh yeah, there's some more in here too. Look at that. There we go. So it's starting to produce as well, so that's great. Awesome. Okay, this bed over here. Swiss chard, doing very, very nicely. Pretty much got my leaf rot problem cleared up. Thank you, Ivan, for that. Ivan and Joanne for that solution. Rhubarb, even though it's shaded, doing very, very nicely. I'll probably move that next year. Medicine plant doing very, very well. I've got her trimmed up. All her inner leaves are gone. A little jalapeno pepper doing very, very nicely. Some transplanted chard across the front of here. They were in pots and they were going to die. So yeah, this is all peppers across here. Back here, 4 volunteer plum tomatoes from last year. I've still got to tie those back to the fence a little bit. I don't know if haven't decided if I'm going to use rope or whichever, but we'll get to that. Is this not the ugliest pepper plant you've ever seen in your life? Like, what the heck is going on with that? It's hideous, but it's producing fruit. So, you know, I'm just gonna keep let it do it. Keep letting it do its thing. So, these other pepper plants, they're flowering but not producing just yet. Another jalapeno here. There's a volunteer potato plant that I did not plant there. A seed must have blown over from last year and germinated. So, yeah, peppers coming along. Oh yeah, they're starting to produce a little bit of fruit right there, so that's good. Oh yeah, here we go. Another little pepper. Good, we'll have peppers next week. That's awesome. And a couple more volunteer tomato plants back in there. And this spiny thing, you see the spikes on that? I was asking people if that was a raspberry. Somebody told me to turn the leaf over. Well, there's what the other side of the leaf looks like. It's almost a white. Very, very light green. But that's pretty much it on this side. What's going on over here? Zucchini plants do not like it in this pot, in this spot here. The nasturtium, some of them are starting to look like go into their second phase of growth or new leaves, which is fine, but some of the rest don't look so well. I'm not sure if they don't like pots or what it is. They've been getting lots of water, so that's not a problem. And again, here I've got some more yellow beans to put either in the fortress or in the ground. Hopefully the bunnies won't get them, but we know how bunnies like those. And my germination rate on these was I planted 16 beans and I have 14 plants. Now when I did the other ones, I planted 24 beans and only got a dozen plants. So the other one was 50%, this one's about 90%. See these climbing doodads here? Doing really, really nice. They've climbed well beyond the poles that I've installed. So this is looking nice. It's got nice red flowers on it. You can see these hostas over here are starting to produce seed pods. So we can get some hosta seeds sent out this year. I've got calla lilies coming in. I didn't expect to have any. Had one, now I've got about 9. So that's pretty much what's going on, guys and gals. Just a quick July garden tour for you guys and gals. I hope everyone's well. I hope everyone's safe. And God bless each and every one of you. Stay well and safe. This is going to be North. Out for now.